guys, and welcome back to another episode of the happiest hour on earth. If you haven't noticed, we are in our new studio this week. We took last week off because we were moving, and we are now in our new house. We have a new setup for the podcast. We are so excited to have it set up. Kind of going to be changing things here and there as we go, but we're really pumped to kind of change up our look a little bit. I guess if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it. If not, probably not. But we're really pumped to be back because we took a week off. We missed you guys, and we're excited to be back this week with a pretty lighthearted, pretty silly topic, but I think one that everyone will be able to relate to.
Yeah,
I would say.
Sure.
We're going to be talking about the best and the worst restrooms in the Disneyland park.
Mm-hmm.
So
very serious subject for we did a week off. We're in a new place and we're like, how do we break in this new place? Talk about bathrooms.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, what else would we do?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So we've been joking about doing this topic for a while, and it was kind of like, haha, yeah, right. And then we were like, that might be really fun actually, because I think everybody has opinions on Disneyland restrooms. So
yeah, there's a wide variety of bathrooms at Disneyland. So it is an important topic that needs to be discussed. I mean, I think episode 90, now we're finally talking about it after a couple of years, but we were going to be doing an episode about the Walt Disney Museum because we just went with our great friends, Make It Magical and Market House podcast over the weekend. The best time. Love both of them. Both of those couples so much. And so definitely go follow their pages. Definitely go check them out on their podcasting platforms. But we were thinking, do we, talk about what is shown in the museum or why you should go? But there really isn't too much to say about that because obviously you should go if you're in the area. And all I could say is take your time. If it's your first time, soak everything up. All the videos of Walt talking about different aspects of his life and just kind of getting a better understanding of his journey to be this wonderful, incredible filmmaker and owner of the Walt Disney Company. But honestly, that's why we were like, okay, we have to pivot. Why don't we talk about bathrooms?
Exactly. And it helped that during our hangout with the other podcasts, this topic came up and we were like, you know what? This is our push. We're just doing it. We're doing the bathroom topic on our next episode.
We were literally eating lunch and then that topic came up. And I was like, that's how you know you're like good friends with people. Did I bring it up?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it was Caleb and Clayton, not me. I would never bring that up. No, just kidding.
I don't know. It was you.
But it was a very fun topic. So we're going to break it down.
Yes, we have a lot to say. So we're ready to get started. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode.
All right. So as Emily mentioned, we are in our new place. This is technically going to be a guest room / podcasting room. Yeah. And so there are going to be some things that we change. We realized that as we set this green wall up, there were some empty spaces on the walls. So we just kind of put a little something on the sides. We might change that later on. We're still kind of figuring it out. We just literally set everything up last night.
And today really got it solidified how it was going to look. So it was a process and we just barely were ready for tonight's episode. So it's been fun though. It's been fun kind of figuring out what look we wanted to go with because we obviously loved our old setup, but we had it for over 2 years. So it was just kind of time for a new, fresh look. Yeah,
I love our pretzel and, little tiki mug logo. So maybe if there was a way to 3D print it, put it on our desk here or something. But I do want to figure out a way to bring that in. Maybe we'll have some other fun stuff on the table that just, within our Disney collection. We have these amazing Disneyland attraction posters, but they're so big that they wouldn't fit anywhere here. So we're going to work things out and it's going to be really cool. So thank you for coming along this journey with us as we kind of figure things out in this new space. But with that, we are going to dive on into bathrooms. Well, before I get to the best, we had one that's just the overall best. We need to talk real quick because we talked to Market House and make it magical about
I think
this.
it was mutual agreement on this one and a few other things.
You're talking about the bad thing? I'm going bad first.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the good one.
I think there's mutual agreement on both.
Yeah,
the bad thing. So I remember going to the park, when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, the bathrooms at Disneyland are so clean, right? Walt Disney always says,
rave about the bathrooms. I feel like when I first started going, I loved them. I was like, they're always clean and like just nice and like pleasant. And things changed over the years.
I don't know when it was, but yeah, that's the thing. Walt was like, my park's not going to be like everything else. And the bathrooms were a statement to that. It was like, no. And now it is so bad. First off, there's a stink there that has not been there, from when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I know my nose didn't get better. I know I had a great nose back then, so I would have smelled stuff. But the toilet paper, I forgot how it is in Walt Disney World, but Disneyland's toilet paper is so thin.
That is like a 1 ply or less, I feel like. Like half
I'm leaning
a ply.
on the less, yeah.
It's bad. Again, I feel like it's gotten worse over the years. I don't remember noticing it, like noticeably noticing it.
Yeah.
In the years past. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I need like a mile of it.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that, like, is toilet paper that, like, for a huge company, is that big of an expense to, like, get a little bit
one
thicker?
Extra ply. That's all we need.
Yeah. And it would just help everyone's experience overall. But for some reason, they've been
slacking on it, for sure. Yeah. I wish that's something they would consider investing in, better toilet paper.
Yeah. And I don't know if, it's pretty rough now. Like, I don't know what happened.
Universal in the parks. It's like, it's every one of the bathrooms, they use the same toilet paper. It's not like one has better than the other. It's like, they use it for all of them.
Yeah. The only place that it has better is the best of the best that we're going to quickly touch upon, because these are outside of the park, but we had to mention them because they honestly are the best of the best. The number one bathroom overall. Do you want to hit us with
I
this?
guess, I mean, unless you want to say it, but we would have to say that probably the best restroom of them all within the property is the restroom within the Grand Californian at the lobby level. They are pristine. They're clean. So there's rarely anyone in them. Definitely never lines. Sometimes there's people in there, but it's very not crowded.
And you would never tell if someone was in there because the stall doors go all the way to the ground.
Closed completely.
Like you're in a closet.
You're completely enclosed. It's very nice and private. The only thing I have to say about it is how quiet it is. There's no sound, and sometimes that drives me nuts. There's no music.
Is there not?
I've noticed that before. I'm like, I wish.
I feel like I've heard maybe not. Okay.
Unless the guy's bathroom's different. I don't know.
I feel like the guys get the music.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, but it is a little quiet, but that does not detract from the fact that it is a wonderful bathroom.
Yeah. And that toilet paper is like normal toilet paper. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like, really nice.
It's like a spa restroom. Like it's like dim lighting. Yeah. It's just like everything is clean.
Yeah.
And just nice.
The isn't it like the hand towels? Ones that you just
think
wash?
So.
Oh, okay.
No, but
they are like a thicker paper towel. I think I do remember that.
They must be.
They take all of the ply that they strip away from all the other toilet paper and like reinvest it into the Grand Californian Hotel.
Paper towels.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So shout out to the Grand Californian, and you don't need to be staying there in order to use the restroom.
Yes,
so
we have intentionally made our way to this area.
Oh yeah.
To use that restroom.
If you're in California Adventure, just pop on into the hotel, use that restroom, look at the fireplace for a second.
Want a nice, relaxing experience.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Yeah, it is really, really nice.
It is.
So huge shout out there. We also had to do an honorable mention. Whenever we wait for Trader Sam's, we always go to the Disneyland Hotel bathrooms, which are really, really nice.
The Adventureland one is the one that we always end up going to, but I bet they're all really cool.
I bet they're all cool. Yeah. Adventureland though, like no one's there.
Yeah. It's always empty.
Nice. Downstairs. Yeah.
And there's a restroom downstairs, and I feel like we've used it a number of times, and every time it's been the same. Just kind of empty, quiet, just a nice area, and with like jungle music playing, which I love.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that each one of the towers,
wallpaper. I like the Adventureland wallpaper in the bathroom too. Yeah.
Yes, it's very vibey. But yeah, I would imagine that all the different towers of the Disneyland Hotel probably have their own very cool bathrooms. So probably any of them are good.
Yeah. So definitely if you are like in downtown Disney or something like that.
Or waiting for Trader Sam's.
Waiting for Trader Sam's. Yeah, definitely go check those out. Those are the best on property, I believe.
Yeah, better than the one that's in
downtown Disney.
Disney Springs. Yes. I don't really have much memory of it, but I can guarantee that these other ones are better.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Are we jumping in?
Yeah.
To okay, we're gonna do Disneyland first. Yeah, but we're gonna start
with the worst because we want to bring it up a happy notch on the next set. So our top 5 worst bathrooms in Disneyland. Do you want to start it?
You could start it. I think this one you call that specifically, which is great.
I guess I have more feelings on this one, and I think a lot of people do because this also came up in our conversation with Market House and Make It Magical, and it was unanimous. The Adventureland restrooms are horrible. This one is like every time I have to use it. I mean, I don't think I have in quite a while because I was so tired of the experience of it. There's always a line coming out. It's like, it's just the one everyone goes to for some reason.
Yeah.
Very smelly, crowded, and just chaos. It's like one of those bathrooms that you're in where it just feels like there's people everywhere and like trying to get around each other. Probably people changing their kids' diapers. Like it's just a lot. It's a lot. And oh man, I do not enjoy that restroom at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to. Again, that feels like something that's changed.
Oh, that was always so cool. Because it was like that big kind of rock formation and you would walk in.
It's a cool little entrance, but then you get in there and you're like, oh,
it's a lot of
a different one.
Yeah, it's not nice.
How's the guy one in comparison?
The guy one is like, that one definitely, it's a long wait. Like once you get inside.
So in general, it's just a congested area. I think a lot of people enter the land and are like, I gotta go to the bathroom before we go to this ride.
Yeah.
So it's always crowded. However, are we going to talk about
we should talk about it. Yeah.
Deviation?
Yeah.
Although I have mixed feelings about this as well. But if you don't want to use that restroom, there is another one in Adventureland that is located basically right by the entrance to the Tiki Room.
And you have to go like pretty much in the queue, quote unquote.
Like kind of the waiting area. You walk in there and then up the little stairs and veer off to the left. And there is a like companion restroom, which we've used to take our son in to like change his diaper and stuff. It's just nice to have privacy and stuff when you're doing that kind of thing. So we've used that one a few times and
nice and spacious.
It is spacious, which is nice. I do recall one of the last times we used it, there was like the floor was really wet.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like water was rising out of the pipe or something. Not like a ton. It wasn't like flooded, but I was just kind of like, ooh, that's kind of gross.
We should do a disclaimer now. Don't finish this episode if you're eating. Just like save it a little bit.
Yeah, this is not.
There's water coming out of the pipe.
This is probably not a topic you want to be eating or drinking too.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It was, that was weird. I had never experienced that.
It was the first time I think that it happened, and it was kind of like, that's gross. But, I still say that it's better than the other one. So if you're in Adventureland, I'd go to the Tiki Room restroom.
Yeah, for sure. So the next one, and these aren't in any particular order. These just all kind of suck.
Yeah.
So the next one is New Orleans Square. Mm-hmm. Wow. I love these 2 lands. These are like my favorite 2 lands, but the 2 least favorite bathrooms.
Yeah. I think they must be a lot of people's favorite lands because everyone is there using the bathrooms.
Yeah. Right. Gosh. A lot of foot traffic and a lot of squat traffic. Yeah. So New Orleans Square, I love getting to these restrooms. Because you walk the corridors of beautiful New Orleans Square and you find this bathroom and they're just, I don't know, it's kind of in a corner, but like, I don't know if it was Market House or Make It Magical. They said, it's like everyone's eating the beignets and gumbo.
Yeah. You just kind of like
that. They just, oh, I need to go. Where's the closest restroom? Bam. It's that New Orleans Square one. And so that one isn't as stinky, I don't think, as Adventureland. I think Adventureland is like, that has some stink. Which when I was a kid, no stink ever.
I don't think so.
I was like, oh no, it was perfect Disneyland bathrooms.
At least.
But now, I don't know. Maybe it's just people's, digestion has changed over the years. I don't know. But
it's gotten
maybe
worse.
Disneyland has just started serving crazier food. I don't know. But yeah, this one's you kind of feel cramped. Yeah. It just kind of feels a little bit older.
I'd say so.
So that one's not really a fave. I would, if I were here, and we'll talk about this one soon, but if I were here, I'd probably just continue walking into Critter Country because there's a nice bathroom in Critter Country. But you want to get the next bad one. This one's rough.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad as well. The restroom that is in Fantasyland next to Red Rose Tavern, the restaurant in Fantasyland, which we love the restaurant. We actually go there quite often. But this area, once again, is just so congested and crowded. And it follows into the restrooms. It's always crowded. And can't really say if I distinctly remember it being extra smelly.
Well, I think that's where like a lot of people because they're there with their kids. So I feel like that's a lot of diaper changing, situations. So you get mix of adult and like diaper kind of deal.
Yeah, maybe it's stinky. I really can't remember, but it is always crowded. That much I know. That whole walkway is just always chaos. And I think a lot of people are just like, oh, bathroom, go off and go to the bathroom. And it is just, it's always packed.
This is one where when I walk in there, I'm like ready to get out. Just, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, just go in, get out.
Yeah.
Cause it is just such a Fantasyland in general is just so crowded. And so, so Red Rose Tavern.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah. Next one is, and I think this is a very convenient restroom, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Okay. So Space Mountain bathrooms, I think it's kind of weird because it just kind of, it's not open, right? It's like a lot of these restrooms, you walk out the door and it's open, but Space Mountain, when you come out of those bathrooms, you're still kind of enclosed. So I feel like there's this, while you're in there, you're not as air ventilation. And then also I don't know, you almost have this subconscious, people could hear me because you're kind of under something.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people have waited in a long line for Space Mountain and then everyone goes there right after because they, have to just go. And so I just feel like it's a lot of just movement. And then there's a lot of people who are always sitting, waiting for someone to get off of Space Mountain. So there's a lot of people right outside the restrooms. And that's just kind of, I want to be at peace, I don't want to feel like people are waiting outside the door for me.
It's disconcerting a little bit. It's just kind of there's just people out there.
Yeah. And I feel like I use this one a lot because we go on Space Mountain, but I think it had to fall into one of the worst just because the weight and the inside-ish kind of feel that it has there.
Yeah. But that brings us to our last of the worst of Disneyland before we jump into the best. But the next one, which I haven't had that much experience using, but the Plaza Inn restroom.
I just thought about what Mark said. Sorry. Keep going.
So this restroom is located basically as you're entering Tomorrowland, just directly to the left of the restaurant. It's a little bit small, a little bit old, I think, not a lot of updates to it, just kind of a little janky, I guess. I think all that I remember doing is maybe changing clothes in there one time. Maybe. I don't know. It was a quick in and out type thing. So I don't really have too many specific memories of it. but I do think it's a little bit on the smelly side.
Yeah, we were talking to Market House, and they said that as they're like eating at Plaza Inn, like there's like a little bit of a waft into like while they're eating. So that's not fun. That's not fun. But it's that's the restroom that the people I think eating at the Plaza Inn have to use, and then it's people who need to make a quick pit stop before Space Mountain, use. So it's kind of like a, it's kind of like a lot going on there. But yeah, I mean that's all I could say. I don't really have a terrible experience there, but I just don't think it's like
it's definitely not one
comfy.
of the best.
It's not comfy. You know, it's kind of just like
it's just there.
Yeah.
It's kind of old and
yeah, old. Yeah, exactly. I totally feel the oldness with that one there. Yeah, for sure.
But that brings us to our best list, which is a little bit of a lighter topic because these ones are much better. Yeah. We already talked about the first one, so that's right.
Easy.
I forgot that was actually on the list. I thought we just kind of had it as a side note.
Yeah.
But the Tiki Room restroom, that is the deviation from the other Adventureland restroom, was the first on our list for the best. Because I think it's just a better option than the other option.
Yeah, for sure.
So
you can hit up with the next one.
Okay. Yeah. The next one would be what Chris was briefly mentioning earlier in Critter Country, which is the Hungry Bear restroom. It's located underneath the restaurant, basically. I think there's just kind of overflow seating down there.
Yeah.
From the restaurant, but there's also restrooms there. And not ever very crowded. Yeah. Pretty well maintained, I think I would say.
I would say
it's
so.
Been a little bit since I've used that one. I know you've used it probably more than I have.
Yeah, I feel like it's since it's kind of on the ground floor level of Hungry Bear, not too many people go down there, and it just the whole vibe of Hungry Bear is kind of cozy, and it kind of makes you just kind of feel like you're at a cabin. So the bathrooms kind of do too. And it's a good pit stop like right before going into Galaxy's Edge, I think. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people walk, all the way downstairs and then use the restroom. So I've done like clothes changes here and stuff like that too, and I haven't felt like pressured. I've never had a line here, which is really, really good. So
agreed.
Yeah, and so speaking of, Galaxy's Edge, I think the Black Spire Outpost Courtyard. Well, I think all the bathrooms in Galaxy's Edge are pretty amazing.
I don't think I've used a single one yet, surprisingly.
Yeah, I have. I think I've only used that like courtyard one when you come in from like Frontierland. But they're well maintained, and they're some of the newest bathrooms there. So that has some really good stuff going on for it. And also there's companion restrooms there too. I mean, a lot of the places we're talking about has like companion restrooms, and if you're a parent, definitely go use that. It just, you're not stressed about multiple people in there. You get your own private little area for you to change, your baby or toddler. And so that's great. But I think the newer the bathroom, the better it is, and that rings true with
time for
Galaxies
things to get bad,
to get deteriorated. Yeah, oh for sure. But yeah, do you want to hit us up with the next one? Yeah?
Sure. The next one on our list is the King and Queen restroom in Fantasyland. So the King and Queen restrooms are located basically right behind the Alice in Wonderland ride in Fantasyland, kind of like along the wall that the ride is on. And these are just really nice bathrooms. I think everybody just loves them. I think they are pretty much always clean from what I recall.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen a line coming out of it, which is crazy because of the other restroom in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Always being packed. I don't know how it is that this one stays so empty. I mean, there's occasional people in there, but I never recall seeing that many people in this bathroom before.
Yeah. As a testament to how amazing these bathrooms are, we know someone who collects Disney park props and everything, and he has both signs.
He does. He has a king
he
and
has
queen
the king
sign.
and the queen signs.
That's
and
true.
So and
they're pretty, I think we've all talked at some point about how great these bathrooms are. And I know I've talked to him about it before. So they're just a favorite. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but I think a lot of people just love those bathrooms. So highly recommend.
Definitely. Go check it out. If you're in Fantasyland, don't go to the Red Rose Tavern.
Do not. Please save yourself from
Don't go to the tavern bathrooms. Go to the magical bathrooms.
Yes.
So the next one we have here is the Fantasyland Theater ones. Yeah. So this is another Fantasyland one. So it's closer almost to Toontown, right? And so as you're walking towards It's a Small World, as you go, if you go left towards the Fantasyland Theater, there are some bathrooms there. And these are great. I mean, we've recently only used the royal family ones, the companion ones there. But usually there's no line to get into that family restroom.
And I think there's two of them. I believe that there's two companion restrooms side by side, in addition to all of the just regular restrooms, behind it. But if you keep walking beyond just the regular restrooms and kind of like get to the end of the building, on the back side, there's two companion restrooms. Okay, so the last one that we have on the best list is a different restroom located in Tomorrowland. So if you don't want to use that Space Mountain one that we were talking about earlier in the worst list, check out the one next to Autopia, because we just pretty recently discovered that one, actually.
I didn't know there was a bathroom there.
We needed a companion restroom one of the last times we were on a trip, and they told us where it was. One of the cast members did. And so now we know it's there, and it's hidden away. It's kind of tucked away behind Autopia.
Yeah, kind of.
You could easily miss it.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so if you're going towards the entrance of Autopia, before you get to the entrance, look right, and there's like men's, women's companion restroom, like tucked in a corner, and that's definitely going to be the nicer one of the two.
I would definitely say it's better than the Space Mountain one. I think we've only gone into the companion ones.
Yeah, we haven't done the regular ones, but
it was nice.
I've heard good things about them, so definitely gonna have to check those out next time.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit them up, see what the buzz is about. But yeah, I would say that's a pretty good one. We did use it. Changed our kid's diaper and did a change of clothes or something, and it was nice and spacious, and no one knows about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
good one. It. No line ever as well. Yeah. But we're gonna jump over to DCA. So DCA, since it is newer, there is only 2 in the worst category. That's pretty shocking.
Yeah, I know.
And not even 5 for the best, just because I feel like a lot of them are just kind of nice. So we didn't really have to. None really stood out among the rest besides these 4, and we just, I don't know, I feel like there are some bathrooms that we haven't used, like the Avengers Campus. I don't think I've ever used that one. I'll have to check it out next time for sure. New bathrooms. But I'm gonna start us off with the worst. So worst of DCA, we have 2 here, and I didn't really think about this until we were hanging out with Make It Magical and Market House podcast, but they said the Pacific Wharf bathrooms, and I always used to stop here because it's so convenient, right? You're gonna have like some food here and all this stuff,
like break time.
And then they brought it up like, oh, there's always like a lot going on there.
I do recall lines.
There's multiple cuisines, and a lot of people go there, to go. And so the bathrooms are just a little, there's a lot going on. And so they brought this up, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's like not the best place to go if you need to go, and so Pacific Wharf bathrooms. Yeah, that definitely had to make our list. But I honestly think the next one is even worse. Yeah.
The next and only other worst on this list is the restrooms located by Midway Mania.
So I'm going to take over for a quick second because Em's having
struggling really bad.
An allergy cough attack. But
attacking me.
Midway Mania bathrooms, like right there behind the carousel and California. Oh my gosh, not California Screaming and Credit Coaster. Because I think, I don't know. It's always so busy there.
So crowded.
So congested. Because of I think a lot of bad restrooms are at like a converging point of two like big rides, right? So you got Incredicoaster and Midway Mania. A lot of people hit that up before they go to the next area. And I feel like a lot of bathrooms that have that two big rides right next to each other are not going to be, it's just going to be really crowded and stuff. So
it's always crowded. I feel like I've used that one a number of times because I've just been like in a desperate moment, like pee really bad or something, and it's always crowded. There's always a line coming out.
And another thing too is that there's no real bathrooms that are close to that unless you walk, all the way to the end of the pier. That's your next restroom.
Yeah.
So it's whenever there's like a good break in between two, because if you go up that hill, I think there's the Lamplight Lounge bathrooms, but you can't just go in there. So then you have all the way to like Ariel or Pacific Wharf to go. And then if you go the other area, you have to cross all the way across the pier to get to the Paradise Garden Grill bathroom. So it's kind of a very sparse area there for bathrooms. But should we jump into the best?
The best, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is our opinion because we have used these ones. There's some that we haven't, I guess. But I would say that all of these ones are all pretty good.
Yeah.
I have no bad memories of any of these restrooms. So the first one on the list is the Buena Vista Street restroom, which is right when you're entering Buena Vista Street. It's directly on the right. I feel like it would be more crowded or congested of an area, but it's always been pretty good from what I recall. I've used it a couple of times, and it's just nice. It's like it's a good location, never super crowded, and not stinky.
I'm wondering if it's because like when everyone walks in, instead of saying, let's walk in, first thing I need to do is go to the restroom. I feel like a lot of people like want to get to their lands, and then once they're in the land that they want to like ride that ride in, then they'll hit the restroom. But honestly, for being the first bathroom, when you get into California Adventure, it's actually a pretty nice
it is. It's
little
really
location. Nice. But I feel like as people go towards left towards Hollywoodland or like Cars Land or towards Grizzly Peak, those first kind of three areas where it branches off, people wait until they get to that land and then go. But I like the Buena Vista Street restrooms.
I do too.
I just love Buena Vista Street in general, and I think the restrooms are really well maintained.
Yep, I agree. And I love there's like a nice little sitting area kind of right outside of it, right next to the little market as well, the Fairfax market,
and like the trolley pickup.
And so a lot of times we'll like grab a snack and then one of us will use the restroom. It's kind of just like a nice little break spot.
It is, especially for like an entrance. It's pretty doesn't seem too packed there, which is great.
I agree. I love that one.
So awesome. So the next one is going to be the Hollywood backlot. I had used this restroom multiple times, but I didn't really think about it until we were talking to our friends over the weekend, and they mentioned this, and it's really kind of tucked in a corner and not used that much. And I feel like anything that's kind of off the beaten path, I feel like no one really goes to the Hollywood backlot, right? Like the Monsters Inc. ride is right there. It's kind of weird because a lot of it's like Avengers, Marvel stuff. But the bathroom right there, usually, it's great too, because then there's that Hollywood lounge right there. And if you are ever chilling in the animation building, which is just the best spot to relax ever, then that's like the restroom closest. Or no, it's not the restroom closest. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The next one's the restroom closest. So, and actually I love that one too. But if you're ever, grabbing a drink at the Hollywood Lounge there, that's a really good one. But I think an even better one is what you're going to bring up. And I think we use this one a lot, and I love it
all the time. This one seems to be the one that we repeatedly end up using. But yes, the one right next to Off the Page and Animation Academy. So it's directly to the right of those buildings, kind of just tucked behind it. And yeah, such nice bathrooms. I love those ones. They're clean and empty. That's what I keep going back to. Those are the things that I want the most in a restroom in Disney. Not a huge line and not super stinky and well maintained. Yeah. And it seems to just check all those boxes every time I use it. It's been good.
Yeah. You know, as you said that, you mentioned a couple on California Adventure that aren't stinky. And I was thinking like a lot of Disneyland ones are, but California Adventure isn't. I wonder if there's like this period of time, like as you get past like 50 years, just the stink just comes, you know?
Maybe.
But California Adventure, DCA, they're actually really good.
That's very true, actually.
And I think they're a little bit bigger, right? Mm-hmm. When they made DCA, they were probably like, let's make these bathrooms a little more bigger, a little more airflow. And so Disneyland's just kind of run down and they're kind of gross now, which is not fun. But California Adventure, I feel comfortable in a lot of these bathrooms.
I think in general, the California Adventure bathrooms are just way better than the Disneyland ones. Yeah. If I had to pick a park for best bathrooms, I would definitely say California Adventure is better. Because I think there must be something to that. The newer the restrooms, the less smell. I don't know. I'm gonna test our theory when we're there because we're going in just a few weeks now, which I'm pumped about. And I am curious. I'm gonna like specifically pay attention to the odor in Disneyland versus California Adventure and see if one is better than the other. Because I think you might be onto something.
Right? Yeah. Time. And I think like building codes probably back then, you know, allowed for smaller space and like all this stuff. And I feel like with the newer ones in California Adventure, there had to be like more ventilation or something that, and then also just the age of the bathrooms. I think that's definitely true. But we're gonna hit us off with this last one here before we kind of give our final thoughts on bathrooms. But the Paradise Garden Grill, I find this place really, really nice because we like to eat at Corn Dog Castle, which is kind of right in this area in Paradise Gardens Park. Those bathrooms are really, really, you have this like calming, like quiet vibe that you get when you go into those restrooms. And they're nice, big and open. And I love that one.
I love that one too. It's another one that we somehow end up using a lot because it is kind of like the only one for a little while. Like,
that's right.
Directions.
And they're better than the Little Mermaid ones, I feel like.
Yeah.
And better than Incredicoaster Midway Mania ones.
Better than that one,
I think that concludes it. That's all we had for the best of California Adventure. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I mean, do you have a favorite restroom in the parks? Oh, yeah.
Is there some that we didn't talk about or that you love and we hated? There's a lot of restrooms, and I think we would both love to know if you guys agree or disagree with us on our picks. But another note, keep in mind, I mean, most of you guys probably know this, but if you're not someone that regulars the park, if you use the app, the Disneyland app, you can literally just filter in the options section, the drop down, just restrooms. So you'll see wherever you are in the park, you'll see where the closest restroom is, which is super convenient, even if it's not going to be a great one, which, you know, hopefully it is. But it's nice to just know if you're in a desperate moment where the closest one is. So keep that in mind on the app.
When you open the app and you go to the map, it'll say like attractions, and then you click attractions and there's a drop down menu. It's like restrooms. So
you just
find the ones that we talked about and hit them up.
Yeah.
They're going to be pretty incredible. But if you're like in the park and you're in desperate need, hit us up, DM us, say which one's the best one I need to go to right now. And we'll hit you. No, we're a little slow on those, but
we'll try our best.
Actually, if you're listening to this and you're like a Disney World native, I want to hear your guys. Well, okay, I know that the Tangled bathroom in Fantasyland is just a favorite. That is amazing, but I want to hear your guys' favorites and least favorites as well, because we only went there one time, which is the best, and we need to go back, but we can't. We're not knowledgeable about the bathrooms there.
Yeah, and I'm sure that all of you like regulars of Disney World have your list.
Yeah,
like best and worst.
Drop it below.
Yeah, we'd love to hear because we're very uneducated on the Walt Disney World restrooms at this point. So we want to know.
We were too excited to be there that we didn't really take note of the restrooms.
Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention at all. But I'm sure there's good and bad ones. So let us know. Definitely.
Well, with that, ending on a perfect note about the good and bad bathrooms of Walt Disney World. Thank you for joining us on this wild episode. I know this topic is just insane and crazy, and we just moved in. We're trying to figure out our whole space here. But we just want to thank you so much for being supportive and listening to our episodes. It really means so much. Next week, we are going to be having on a Plaid, which is a Disneyland VIP tour guide on our show, and we cannot wait to have her on. It's going to be the best.
Yeah, we're really excited for that episode. We've been planning this one for a bit as well. We've had it on the calendar. We're really excited to talk with her and pick her brain a little bit as much as we're allowed to, I guess. And I'm sure you guys are going to love to hear from her as well.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited. But then also after that, we are headed to the parks. So we cannot wait to finally be back at Disneyland. So definitely, if you're listening on a podcast platform or YouTube, find our Instagram. We'll probably be posting some in-park, stories and posts while we're there. And definitely follow along. I cannot wait to be back and then talk about our experience. We haven't been to New Toontown yet. We haven't seen the new shows yet in person. Yeah. And so really excited to be back.
Yeah. I'm ready to just soak it in. It's only been, I guess, like 6 months since we were there, but that feels like so long. Yeah. And a lot has changed. Pirates is open. I know it was closed last time we were there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And there's just so much I'm excited for. I just can't wait to be back and soak it in. So a couple more weeks and we'll be there. So we'll keep you guys updated with some fun content and follow along with us if you'd like. But aside from that, we'll be back next week with our episode with our VIP tour guide.
Yeah, can't wait.
We'll see you guys then. Have a great week.
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.